I'm originally from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Oh, okay. So,
Mhm.
what was like growing up for you? So, were you born and raised there?
I was born and raised in Louisiana. Yes.
Okay. So, let me get to like, I want to get to more into your upbringing from you in Louisiana. Was it a
Okay.
single parent household, two parent, cousins, siblings?
Yes.
How was that structure like for you?
So I have four brothers. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm the only girl. My mom and dad are still married. They've been married since
Oh,
before I was even born. Like my
nice.
older brother is 30, I think he's 36. So they've been married for like 37 or 38 years, or maybe 36 years. Don't quote me, but 30
Nice.
plus years for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's wonderful. And so, okay, so having that two-parent household, was there any, okay, so you said four brothers, so it's five of you all together.
Yes.
And
Well,
okay,
I'm sorry, four of us all together, and
so
then
four
my
altogether.
cousin. Yeah, my cousin
Oh,
grew up
okay.
with us as well, and I call him my brother, but he's my cousin. But I
Right.
don't look at him no different than my brother.
Got you. No, understandable. And
Mhm.
so what was it like? And where do you fall? Are you like the youngest, oldest,
I'm the second to oldest.
the second to oldest? So,
Mhm.
what was it like? Because sometimes, like, okay, let me, before I get to the whole, dynamic with the sibling structure, I want to know
Mhm.
how many years apart are you guys?
So me and my oldest brother, we are. He's 36. I'll be 34 next month. So
Okay.
we're like 2 years apart, two and
Okay.
something years apart. And then my brother after me, I think he is 25 or 26. So
Mhm.
that's pretty much a good age gap. I
Yes.
think like six
Yes.
years, something like that. And my last
Okay.
little brother, he's 21. I think he's 21. He or 20. He just made 21 or 20. Don't quote me.
Yeah, that's why I
Sorry.
wanted to ask because when there's a gap between the older
Mhm.
children and the younger children, the parenting style is different. When
Mhm.
it comes to the parents, how they treat the older children versus the younger children. So, did you see a difference between how the parents raised you and your brother, and then the younger siblings?
I mean, my mom was a little more laid back when it came to my younger siblings because she probably was tired. She probably was tired after me, and my
Yeah,
oldest
right.
brother. She probably was tired, but no, she pretty much kept the structure the same. She just was
Okay,
a little more, and that's probably getting feedback from the older siblings. Like, you don't got to be so harsh. You don't got to be so,
got it.
But she pretty much the same. My mama don't change. My daddy don't change. They be the same.
So wait, how your father was he more strict, more disciplinarian?
No, to be honest, my dad's the more laid back one. My mom will be the one that's like structure,
Oh,
like
structure. Oh,
get
okay.
up
That's
and
one.
do what you need to do.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it wasn't much of a difference, between how all you were raised.
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, the baby, of course, he's
Right.
small, so
Right. I knew
but I'm
one had to be
small, so
small.
I can't even say nothing.
Are you small too?
Yes, I'm very small.
But I remember
Very
you
small.
telling me before, Jade. I remember you telling me before that you had like a farm or something. You had horses, animals.
Yeah, my dad and my mom does have a farm. Well, it's not a farm anymore. They pretty much sold all their
Oh,
animals and stuff, but they still have horses and chickens and dogs and cats and
uh,
all type of stuff in the field. So it's pretty much our it's my grandmother. So my grandmother and so I'm gonna start from my great grandparents. My great grandparents left my grandmother and her siblings land, and they built their houses on it. My mom built her house on it. So we pretty much had the whole street to ourselves. Well, I didn't have it when I was growing up because they were still building,
got
but
you.
I left home at a little earlier age than everybody else. So but it's still our home, I
Yes,
mean, they were living in there since I was like maybe 19, 20 years old. So I just was out the house, but that's
got
still
it.
my home.
I mean, we'll get more to that. We get more into you leaving the nest. I want to definitely get more into that. But I want to get into the horses because I love to like hear stories about animals
Yes,
raised in
sugar.
farms and stuff. So,
Yes.
were you raised
My
on? Was it
horses.
farm? Was it farm? Was it a farm type of property, or was it like did you
Yeah,
have like a separate?
so it's a big it was a when I was younger, it was more of a bigger farm, and my parents and stuff and my great grandparents would go in there and stuff like that. But I wasn't one of them girls to be outside, honey.
Oh, you was
I wasn't one of I let my daddy and my brothers do that. I was in the house cooking and cleaning.
Oh, you were, oh, okay, got you. But you wasn't outside tended to the you ain't ride the horses or anything. You ain't have interactions
Mm-mm.
with you ain't do animal
I
interaction.
would pet it and stuff like that, but as of riding it, honey, I'm not the only horse I ride.
Well,
I'm trying to tell you that the only horse I ride, honey. I don't play with them. I don't
see,
play with big animals
okay, I
like
see
that.
where
I'm
you're going with
scared.
this, Jade. I see where you're going with it. I can't be mad at all. I'm sorry, I can't be mad. Yeah, but yeah, so you grew up, and so I always like to get into, the scholastic side of things, and I like to get into the elementary, junior high school, because it's not talked about enough. We talk about high school and college, but nobody talks
Mhm.
about elementary. Because a lot of people don't really remember, but there's some aspects that you should remember because those are some pivotal times. People don't. I don't think people are aware of how pivotal that is because you're talking about puberty, you talk about dry humping in the staircase, you're talking about sex ed, you're talking about you just try to figure it all out. That is a pivotal time. So I'm
Yes.
wondering, how was it like for you? Do you remember how it was like for you in junior high and elementary school?
Yes, I do actually. My
Okay,
elementary
good.
school, um, a little bit of elementary. I think I still remember from like third or fourth. So like in between third, I think like between kindergarten and third grade or fourth grade. No, third grade. Between kindergarten and third grade,
Right.
we were moving a lot. Like so not a lot, but we just was moving a little bit more than the norm. But that's because my mom was young. She was trying to get settled and stuff. So
So
I
where did
didn't
you move
really.
to?
We
What were you moving
well, we
to?
still in Louisiana, just a
Okay, but just
different
different
like
areas.
cities. Yeah, different
Oh,
areas.
okay, okay.
Yeah, so we would I did that, but I think I can remember vividly fourth grade and up. I was, bullied, I think from
Mm,
fourth grade, third pretty much my whole life until I got into high school for real. But
mm, mm,
really, even in high school, it was a little bit, but they kind of laid off me a little bit. But when I was in like elementary, middle school, I was kind of bullied a lot.
mm.
I mean, that didn't last too long though, because I started putting BTA. So once I started putting BTA, they left me
Right,
alone.
right. Yeah, sometimes if you fight back, sometimes you do have to.
Yeah,
It's but so
yeah,
much that you're going to ignore. Like you can't just
right.
continue to. No, so I get it. But how was you? Like, did you get into any extracurricular activities? Did you join any club?
Yes. So
Uh,
I was always in theater. I always was
oh,
in
really?
yeah, I was in theater. I was always in like drama club. In
Nice.
middle school I was in 4-H and just little clubs
Four
and
H.
choir. I can't
Oh,
sing, but I was in choir child. I was in choir trying to
yeah. But I'm
trying to sing
surprised you
with
was in
it.
4-H because you don't like animals that much. You was in 4-H.
I was in 4-H. I was
Who
in
made
4-H.
you decide if you were
My
you were
dad
in?
my daddy said you got to do something besides sit in the house.
Okay, okay, okay.
My
Got
mom
it.
and my daddy was well, my mama didn't really care, but my daddy was more so you got to do something. Like you
Gotta
can't,
do right. You got to be active. Yeah,
you
you
a
got to.
kid, do something.
But did you enjoy it though? I mean, did you enjoy it a little? I mean, did you enjoy that?
To be honest, I don't remember what we was even
Okay,
doing.
okay,
But
that's all right. I understand.
I was there. I was participating, but I don't remember anything. Oh, I was also in Cub Scouts and all that stuff
Oh,
too.
you Club Scout. Oh,
Yeah, I was in
cool.
that too. My mom kept us in that. Oh, I did play baseball too. I forgot I did that when I was younger. I did play baseball as
Oh, so
well.
you did. Oh, you did quite a few things.
My mama kept us active.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's a good thing. But so let me before we get more in Jade, I just want to establish something. When did you have this feeling, or when did you know within yourself that you were something that of this outside of your former self?
For me, I can't speak for everyone, but for me, I always did feel this way. I always did feel like a girl. I always felt like a woman. I would
I mean,
sit
should you
there.
remember when?
I think vividly remember at like 5, 6. I didn't know the
Okay.
words for it. I
Okay.
just knew I wasn't like my brothers. I knew I didn't like to get
Okay.
dirty. I knew I didn't like to, you
Mhm.
know, do. I didn't like to do nothing that they do. So
Okay.
um, I knew that I was different. I just didn't know what was the
What was it?
terminology,
What was it? What it
or
was?
is that,
Okay.
or if that was even
A
okay to
thing.
say
Right.
or anything like that. So yeah,
Okay.
I
So I
knew
asked
from
that
a
for a
pretty
reason.
early age.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because the reason why I'm glad I asked you when I did because I wanted to kind of establish a timeline. That's why I was like,
Mhm.
because let me just like I said, I wanted to stop there. So I'm glad you said like around 5 years old. So that's what the time we talking about elementary.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
but you knew because a lot of times when you're that young, a lot of times, we all want to be like, we want to be Superman, we want to be Wonder Woman, we want to be unicorns and dinosaurs. So
Yep.
that's the thing. So, I mean, even though you said that you wasn't sure, you wasn't certain, when did you make the distinction? Because a lot of times when you mentioned that growing up, you didn't want to do the things that your brothers used to do, like you
Mhm.
didn't want to participate in certain things. So
Mhm.
when did you make the distinction between just not having desire to do certain things as a child growing up, and you knowing that this is not where you are assigned to or you want to identify as?
Right. So, as I think probably when I was around 12, 13, I started
Okay.
kind of like
Okay, junior high. Okay.
dibbling. Yeah, I kind of started like kind of dibbling, dabbling. I was about to go into high school. I started dibbling, dabbling in like makeup and wear my hair curly and big and curly and just trying to tap in more into my femininity. But
Mm.
like I didn't really go full throttle till my like sophomore, junior year.
Oh, in high
And
school?
yeah, sophomore, junior
Okay.
year is
All
when I
right.
really kind of like was like, okay,
You want to
I
explore it.
I want to
Mhm.
explore what this is. I don't know how to put it into words. I didn't even know if it was a real thing for real. I didn't know it was like I mean, I heard of it, but I was always talked down upon where I'm from. So
Of course, of course.
it wasn't like a, oh my God, that you can do this. It was more so of there was talking about them in a negative light, not in a positive
Of
light.
course,
So
of
I
course.
kind of got scared, I kind of got, I would try to kind of hide it and kind of be scared because I didn't want them to talk about me like that. And I was just blessed to be in what's the word they call it, passable or something like that. I was blessed
Yes.
to be like that, but in my mind I was thinking I'm not passable, so I'm thinking I didn't want
Mm,
people to like bully me more or me fighting even more because of that. So
mm.
I waited till I was about 16 and a half or about 15, 16 and a half. That's when I was like, okay, I can't take it no
Then
more.
this is right, because this
This
is
is
like,
who I
that's
am.
when you knew, like, this, like, okay, this is not who I am. This is okay. I know this is something else. I know it's got to be something else there. But
Right.
thank you for bookmark that for me, Jade, because I
Yeah, and
want to. Yeah,
I did have help. I'm not gonna make it seem like I was just out there
right.
doing it by myself.
Of course.
My biological older brother, he is part of the community as well.
Okay.
So, he
Which
kind
part?
of
Which part?
he's gay.
Okay.
He's a homosexual male.
Hmm.
So he pretty much, you know, helped me, and I appreciate him so much. Him and my mom, they pretty much helped me do it the right way. They didn't,
Oh, so you got the support. See, I want to get more into that,
mhm.
Jay. Hold on, bookmark that.
Okay,
I mean,
okay, okay.
yes, I definitely want to get more into that because that's so rare. So yeah, I definitely I want to tap more into that part, that
Yeah.
support system that you just mentioned. Tap, yeah, bookmark
Yes.
that for me. All right, because I want
Okay.
to go right back to, not really knowing, and go
Yeah,
back
I
to
didn't.
childhood, but I want to go back into what, do you mind me asking, what were you, who were you then? What was your name then?
My name then was Kurlwin.
Kerwin.
So
Oh, Kerwin. You should still go
curl
by
like
that.
you curl your hair
Kerwin.
and win.
Kurlwin.
So it's not even like masculine. It's not even
What is your
feminine. It's
full name? What was your full name?
Kerwin Kale. It was just Kerwin Kale.
Okay. And you still go by? Don't you go by that sometimes? I mean, well, no, but
No, well, not I don't go by it, but I haven't legally changed my name because I
okay.
don't feel like
Hmm.
it doesn't bother me. It's not like
Okay.
Tim, Bob, John,
I got you.
Scott, Brandon. It's nothing like that. So if you was to see my
Right.
name on paper, they don't even know what it is. So it doesn't bother me at all. And I feel that I should keep something that my mom gave me because I changed
Attached
everything
to you.
else.
Noted.
So
Okay. Okay.
it's very distinct. It's very
Yes, it is.
unique, and I would if I open up a business or any business that I ventured out doing, I'll probably use my government name for it because it's so unique, it's so different.
It is.
Nobody
It is.
know what it is or where it come from or nothing like that. So
But I think it's
that's why I
cool.
don't change my
Kerwin.
legal name.
Yeah, Kerwin, because it sounds like, it's something within the entertainment, but like Kerwin sounds like an entertainer's
Uh-huh.
name. you know,
Uh-huh.
so yeah. So no, that sounds pretty cool. All right, but thank you for sharing that because I didn't know whether or not you wanted to like I was, so thank you for sharing that.
Oh no, it's
Yeah.
okay. I'm an open book girl. I don't care
All
about
right.
stuff
Oh,
like
glad you said that. Okay. All right. I'm glad you said that. All
that.
right. So growing up, okay, so you being Corwin at the time, we got into some elementary, got into some junior high, and then so now we get into high school. What high school did you go to?
I went to Karen Crow High School.
What's it called?
Karen Crow High School.
Carrie Crow?
Karen Crow, like
Karen,
Karen
Karen Crow.
Crow.
Okay,
Hmm.
Karen Crow High School. And
Hmm.
what was that like for you? Because I know you said you went through the phase where you. Well, I don't know what were your fashions like back then. How did you look back then? Let's go. Let's start there.
Oh, baby, I was making the girls dizzy. Okay, I
Oh,
always was unique. I always
yeah.
was different.
That's why I said I want to
I
know.
always
Like
I
I
didn't
want
start
to.
toning down till I got older. But when I was younger, I mean, I had bangles like all the way up to here. I had big hoop earrings. My natural hair was always pretty fairly long, so I always had like a roller wrap. I would do weird things like wear a before
Wow.
platinum blonde was a thing. I was wearing platinum blonde wigs to school. I was wearing like hoop earrings. Like I was just extra. I just was living out loud. I didn't care.
Right. You ain't, oh, and so at that time you was more free. You were more free
Uh
to
huh.
just kind of. So would you consider yourself androgynous at that time?
Um, I wouldn't say androgynous because I didn't like you to call me he or him or call me my government name. I was already at that time I was going by Kiki. I mean,
Kiki.
that's my family name is Kiki. Everybody calls me
Okay.
Kiki.
Okay.
So everyone they just couldn't call me my government name. I mean, it was always she, her, hers. That was that was the thing. Because if you said he, I was not turning around. If you said him or he, I don't know who you're talking to. Like, so I
Mm.
kind of started already
So you took
adapting
on
to.
that, feminine
Mhm,
by high school. That you said by
mhm.
16. You did say that by
Yeah,
16.
I was like 15, 16. My freshman year going into my sophomore year, I already knew this is what I want to do. I just didn't know. I didn't know how I was gonna get the money to do it. I didn't know, what was gonna
Hmm.
be,
Yeah.
how it
Right.
was gonna happen. I just knew this is what I wanted and I was going for it.
Oh, and pause there because I definitely want to explore that because I just want to dig
Mhm.
deeper into your mindset at that time. Because okay, now
Mhm.
we went from you were saying that you was 5 years old, you didn't know what it
Mhm.
was, you didn't know, you because some you probably thought it was a phase two. Like I said before, like how
Mhm.
we all wanted to be, something outside of ourselves at that time. But then when you you're older, you know better, you're more aware. So
Mhm.
what was Kerwin's at Kerwin at the time? Because you're still
Mhm.
Kerwin, what was Kurlwin's process at the time of thinking, okay, I'm not a boy. I'm not a boy anymore. I'm a
So
girl.
it
And when did Jay come into play?
it's Curlwin, like curl and
Kurlwin.
win.
That's what I
Yes.
said.
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
So I don't consider myself still Kerwin because nobody knew who that was. That is my government name, but
right.
that is not
But at
who I
that
am.
time,
But at that time, people still wouldn't call me that neither. They was calling
oh,
me
okay,
Kiki.
Kiki. Okay, okay,
At that point in time, I knew so my eighth grade year going into my ninth grade year, I was like, I don't know what to say when everybody would ask me what I want to be when I grow up. I was like, I want to be my mama. They was like, what
mm.
that mean? Like,
Yeah. What that
what that
mean? What
mean?
does that mean?
To
Yeah.
me, it was more of myself expressing I wanted to be a woman, but I just didn't know how to say I want to be a woman. I want to be a girl. This is what I want to do because they would always pick on. Remember, they always picking on
Yes.
people like
Yes.
that. But the difference between me and them is I knew how to fight. So you talk to me
You
crazy,
talking crazy.
I'm gonna give you
Yeah.
what you
I'm gonna show you
need.
something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So by the time middle school came, I wasn't gonna say I was a bully, but more so I would bully the bullies.
Okay.
Anybody that was picking on like the weird, they call them the weird kids
I'm
or
gonna
the
get to
kids
you
that
before
just
you get to me.
right. But anybody that I was protective of the people that was different. So
Got
anybody that's
you.
different or
The
anybody
underdogs.
that
Mhm,
yeah, the underdogs. I was more
mhm.
so of you. If you just see me, meet me, you wouldn't think I knew how to fight. You'd be like, oh,
Of course, of
yeah,
course.
whatever, whatever.
Mhm.
I'm gonna just say whatever. But that switch turn and I'm on that with anybody.
Right.
So I would be on that and I started getting popular because of me fighting so much. So that's not
Mm.
a good light, but at
I
that
know,
time I
right,
thought
right.
that, that's how people was gonna respect me. And
Respect. I was gonna say that. That's
it
how they got respect.
exactly.
Yeah. And
They
that's
respect me
unfortunate.
and they would I mean it was kind of bad, but at the time I didn't know it was kind of bad that I was known for the punk that know how to fight, is how we say it in
Got you.
Louisiana.
Mm.
And it wasn't a derogatory thing because in Louisiana we would always say like, oh that's punk, whatever, a punk with this, a punk that. We before it was even a thing, it was just like to identify that person, we would say punk J or punk B or punk A or punk C. That was just what it was. So they were I was known for that punk that know how to fight. And then when I got in high school, I was more so of um, y'all not gonna call me the punk that know how to fight. You're gonna call me my name. And yes, I do know how to fight. That's part of who I am. But I don't like to
But
fight.
it's
But
more
if you
to it.
play with me or
Hmm.
disrespect me,
Hmm.
I'm gonna give you what you need.
Got it. Duly noted. And so, and okay, so you mentioned that going back to you know, the start of your transition. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
you mentioned that you knew that this, you know, you wanted to
Yeah,
shift, you wanted to shift, but I just still want to dig a little deeper. Like, how
it's
did you
okay.
know? Like, yeah, how did
Mm.
you know? Like,
Well,
what
let
was
me
it
let me
about?
tell you the
Yeah,
exact moment. I'm gonna tell you the exact moment where I
yes,
knew this was possible and I knew this was what I was going to do. I was a
yes.
sophomore in high school and we was going on Bourbon Street and
Urban Street.
I
Okay.
met Bourbon Street. Yeah, so I was with my cousins and my brothers and my friends and stuff. It was on Bourbon Street, and we were standing up, and this beautiful woman just walked past us. And I was like, oh my gosh, she is so pretty. And then when I said that, my brother and my cousins them turned around. And they was like, oh, that's Amaya. And I was like, Amaya, who's Amaya? They was like, Amaya Scott. They was like, you don't know her? I was like, no, I don't know who that is. But I also wouldn't watch TV like that or wasn't in social
Mm,
media like that at that time. So I was like, no, I don't know who that is. Who was that? They was like, watch this. They was like, come see. So my cousin knew who she was, and my cousin said, Maya, this is Jade. Jade, this is Maya. Da 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 da. And Maya looked at me. Maya Scott looked at me. And she said, who's the Dykes mama? And I was like, everybody looking around like, who a dyke? Like, who's a lesbian over here? Like, we all looking around. I'm even looking around like, who a lesbian? She was like, you. I was like, I'm not a dyke. She was like, well, what are you? She was like, I was like, I'm just me. And she was like, oh, baby, you want to me. Let me show you something. So she held my hand the whole time we was on Bourbon Street. And I mean, guys was just falling out for her, like, oh my gosh, she's so fine. Like men running after her. Like it was a lot shaking on Bourbon Street that night because everybody wanted a piece of Amaya. And I was like, oh my God. I didn't even know she was trans. I still didn't know she was transgender at that point in time.
right.
So we went through the whole night, and my cousin said, this was the end of the night. My cousin was like, guess what? I said, what? He was like, Maya. I was like, yeah, she pretty. I was like, ooh. He was like, she is transgender. And I was like, transgender? What you mean? I was like, no way. He was like, yeah, she used to be this. Now she's a woman.
Mm,
And I was like, oh, girl. And then she grabbed my hand. She was like, come on, baby. I'm gonna show you how this go. And that was the start. She literally was like, this is
just like
what you
that.
want to do. Yeah, she was like, this is what you want to do. I literally went to
But
sleep.
and is that something that you wanted to do at that time? This
Yeah,
was it something
yeah,
that
I
you
knew.
oh,
I just didn't know it was possible because I'd never seen a
okay,
black transgender woman that was actually beautiful. I seen black transgender women, but
got
they
it.
was a little,
Yes. More
you couldn't
masculine.
tell, right? You could
Right,
have just
right.
tell.
Mhm,
I
mhm,
couldn't
mhm.
tell with her, so that really like put a fire underneath me. Like, oh my God, like I can't believe like this is real.
Right,
And I
right.
asked her, I said, how did you do this? She's like, it comes in time, baby. Don't worry about it. That's exactly what she said. She said, it comes in time, baby. You gonna get there. And I was like, well, I want to get there like tomorrow. Like I've been feeling this way, but
Wow.
now I was like, can I grab I was like, can I grab your boob? And then I grabbed it. I was grabbing her boob, like I was so shocked. And she was like, baby, it's okay. She's like, it's okay. We you gonna get there, I promise you. And I was like, well, how? I don't have no money to do this and this and that and the third. She was like, you're gonna make a way. It's possible. So I went home that night. I fell asleep. I was living on my own at that time too, and I fell asleep. And I had a dream that I was getting married, but I couldn't see my face or nothing. I just looked down and I seen breasts and a beautiful white dress. Like the dress
Mm,
was like a corset, and I just seen these big old boobs, and I see my waist snatched. Like I could have seen my body, but I couldn't see me because I was walking down the aisle. Of course, I can't see myself.
right, right.
So I was like, oh my God. And I woke up from the dream, and my best friend was with me at the time. And I woke up and I said, he's like, what? I said,
Ah, it was getting good, Jade.
I
Oh,
was like, I'm
oh,
you stay with me. I was like, I'm going to be a
oh,
transgender woman, and he was like, well, I mean, we've been telling you that you just didn't do it yet. I was like, I'm gonna do it. Watch this. So I woke up, literally took all my clothes that I had, I put it in a bin and I burned it.
just like
All my
that.
wardrobe, anything that was masculine, I threw it out and I burned it. I had one pair of jeans, two t-shirts that were girl shirts, and maybe like one bra.
So you just manifested it just like that. You just manifested it.
Wait, I can't hear you. Oh,
Oh, yeah. I don't know what's
I
going
can't.
on. Yeah, you can hear me? Oh. Go, go out and come back in. Go
Okay.
out, come back in. Yeah, so we got some technical difficulties, but we're not gonna let that stop us. You know how this goes. Let me see if I can just I may need to kick her off. Yeah, hopefully she'll be able to get back on. But yeah, because it's getting good. So hopefully, we're about to get into Jade's transformation. She said that she started out as Kurlwin, grew up. Unfortunately, she was taunted, bullied, and she knew she was different from the start. And she had to navigate through that. Let's see. She's back. She's back.
Yeah. Sorry
Okay.
about that. I can't hear
Like you had a
you.
phone call.
No, the I couldn't hear you. I just couldn't hear
You
it.
just could
Hear
hear.
anything.
Oh, they
I
just.
couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
it
weird.
just the sound had just went out, and I don't know what that was
Yeah, because it
about.
was getting good. I was just like, how they gonna just cut off like that? So you
But
still left off. You said that you burned all your
yeah, I
clothes,
burnt all
your
my
clothes.
clothes,
Mhm.
all my anything that was male figured or masculine, anything that wasn't feminine, I threw it all out. Once I threw it out, I knew that it was no going back. Like,
Wow.
what you want to do. Like, so, um, in the gay world, we have gay fathers
Yes.
and gay mothers and stuff like that. So, Maya's daughter, at the time, ended up adopting me as her daughter and gay daughter in the gay world, her gay daughter, and I had a gay dad, and they pretty much was like, okay, this is what it is. So they call it the this is a bad word, please don't say it, but everybody would call it the tranny boot camp is what we called
Mm,
it.
okay.
And
Okay.
they basically what that mean was basically they taught me how to do all the feminine things that I didn't know how to do. Like, where how to put my bra on properly, how to do my hair, how to do my makeup, how to polish nails, how to, just how
Mm.
to.
Yeah. So they groomed you.
Yeah,
Not
they groomed me,
in that
right.
in
They
that
they
sense. Yes.
yes, they groomed me into this.
Yeah. So let me ask you, because I want to get more into. Okay, before we get more into the process, I want to get more into the support that you have. Because how did your family react to this?
Well, I wouldn't tell nobody do what I did, but but I was already tired of kind of, I'm not gonna say hiding, but kind of tired of,
Because you said you was
you
living on
know
your own already. Well,
yeah, I was
because
living on my own already, but I had already came out to my family.
oh, okay.
That's how I ended up going to be on my own. Was, I had little brothers at the time, they're babies, and my dad and my mom were very supportive, and they said, well, if you want to do this, then we'll get you your own space, and as long as you got a job paying your bills, and as long as you're going to school and you
Mm,
graduate, we're going to continue to have your own place. But if you don't make good grades, if you're not working, if you're not doing anything, you're going to come back home. And I didn't want to
yeah.
go back home.
Oh, wow.
I
So, I
didn't
mean,
want to
so
go
they
back
was
home.
just, I mean, so they was like really like those like non-conventional parents.
Yeah, they were very supportive. They were very, very
Wow.
supportive. And my brother was really the driving force for that, because my brother could explain it better than I could.
Got
I
it.
didn't I
Right.
didn't know the
Because you was
terminology
already
or how
there.
to say,
Right.
yeah, and he's older than me, and he was in the gay world before me, so he kind of knew how to explain it to my mom and dad so they could understand. And I'm
Got it.
more so of a clean cut, like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you. I'm gonna just give it to you dry, no
Mhm.
lube. Like, I'm gonna just let you know. Like, I literally, this is how I came out. I literally was sitting at the table, and I was like, my dad was like, "You got something to say, or you got something to talk about, or whatever?" I was like, "Yeah, actually, I do." I was like, "Well," and I always had long hair, like I told you, so it was down like in a low ponytail at first. So I bent my head over, put my hair in a high bun, and I was like, "I'm a girl."
Mm. And how
And
far were you in your transition at that time in your
I
transformation?
wasn't even. I had just
Oh, you didn't
started taking
start yet.
hormones. I had just started taking
You
hormones,
just
so I
start.
was
Okay.
still. I still was like. It was kind of hard for me to kind of hide it because my body was changing. My breast was growing, my body was getting more softer, and my dad would look but don't say nothing. He would just look at me, but he would never say nothing. So I kind of had an inkling that he was like, "What's going on?"
You knew something
Like
was
trying to
going
figure
on,
out,
right?
right, trying to figure out what's happening. But I just like, I'm the type of person where if I don't say something or how I feel at that point in time, it's going to work my nerves. It's going
Yes,
to, I have
yes,
like a knot in my throat.
yes.
You could tell something is wrong with me, like what's going on, and they were like, "What's wrong?" And as soon as he said, "What's wrong?" I could tell something's wrong. I just was like, "Well, I'm a girl,"
Mm.
and I just put my hair up and I crossed my legs and I just did like a number, like,
No,
and he just
uh,
looked at me and he was like, he got up from the kitchen table and he went and grabbed a bottle of gin and he just downed it.
whoa. Because it was
He
a
just
lot. That's a lot to process. Like
yeah, it's a lot to process, and it
like
was
in your
so
face. Yeah.
yeah. And I don't tell nobody to do what I did because it was very straightforward, and my parents didn't really have time to process their thoughts. It was just more
Right.
so take it or leave it. This is what I'm doing,
Right. Right.
and it worked out for me, but it may not work out for everybody, but it worked out for me. It worked out for me.
So when you started your were you already out of high school or when you started? Oh, you were
I
still
was still in high school. I was a sophomore, about to be a junior.
about to be a junior.
Hmm.
Okay. And so how was it like, going through that phase, going through that process, especially in high school? You know,
Well, see, because for me, I felt alive, and it was only
okay.
because, um, I mean, some people probably say I was attractive when I was before who I was before, but I didn't feel attractive. I felt
Mm,
ugly. I felt fat. I felt just,
mm,
I didn't feel like myself. But when I started transitioning, it was like, I was like, "What's up, y'all?" I come to school. I got on a full bra. I got on some extensions in my head. I'm like, everybody looking
like,
like,
hey,
"Who is
how you
that?"
doing?
First
And
of
what
all,
about the
everybody
teachers
looking.
though? What about the teachers, this faculty? Did they say
um,
anything?
they did because we wore uniforms in school, and we weren't supposed to. The boys, the males, can't wear earrings, and I always had on
Oh,
big
right,
hoop
right,
earrings, and they was trying to, they didn't know how to take that because I was really loud and I'm proud. I didn't care what
right.
nobody thought. I didn't think about what nobody was going to think. And even work, I mean, I got fired from my job because of it. There was like,
Really?
whoa. Yeah, there was like, whoa, what's going on? You just come to work one day and you like
I
this.
don't know.
You
Yeah.
gotta like take your time with this. I'm like, no, this is who I am. If I don't like it, whatever. They found a different reason they still say fired me, but I know it was because they
Hmm.
didn't know what was going on. And
Right,
I wasn't hard, but I wasn't as soft. So, it wasn't like so passable. You could have tell a little bit, because I wasn't there yet. So
right.
they probably didn't know how to handle that. So I don't blame them for like, and I was working at a hospital at the time. So all the
Mm,
doctors was used to seeing me as one thing. And I just come in one day, I'm a whole different person. Like they're like, what's
right,
going
right.
on? But I felt that if I didn't start now, if I didn't just throw it in their face, they would never take me serious. I felt that
Mm.
you need to accept it or not. I don't care. I really didn't care. I wish I was more like that to this day, but I really didn't care what people thought. Like I just really didn't. It didn't
Yeah,
bother me.
yeah, but I just feel I admire that actually because I mean that type of bravery I think a lot of people wish they had.
Yeah.
And so I know you probably inspired more people than you think, because
Yeah.
bravery even back then in high school, that's not easy to do. That's not easy for you to just,
And of
you know,
course, you got the bullies
yeah,
and stuff that's like, what is
right.
going on? Who is that? Whatever. And I would always turn my head like, what? What was said? What happened?
Like
Because
what
I'm
you want to
still that.
know?
Don't let it fool you. Because I'm still that
Right.
person that will BTA real quick. But they would get
Yeah.
it together. They would,
You have
they
to
would
remind sometimes you have to give reminders out. I understand. You have to remind some folk.
right. And not
Yeah.
only that, I mean, I was always popular too. I always,
Okay.
I was popular because of my friends, my homegirls, or popular for fighting, and then popular because a lot of my homegirls were the prettier, popular girls. So, I'm learning I have them doing my hair and doing my makeup for school and stuff.
Right.
So,
Wow.
yeah. And a lot of guys will get cool with me to get closer to the girls.
Yeah, and plus because it's like it's so like because it's like I think for them it's like so like unique, it's so like exotic, it's like so
Hmm.
out there. You're so out there, so it's like they can't help but to gravitate towards you. So
Yeah,
I
and,
would think in that sense,
my personality is
yes, yeah,
crazy. So I always had a crazy, loud personality that's like, "What's up, y'all? What we doing? Like, what we going after this?" Like,
yeah. You had that freedom in you, and it was just like, and I think that, like I said, that attracted so many people to you. So yeah, I do understand that part.